Answer: most people believe that wealth comes from working harder than everyone else, from grinding long hours, and from sacrificing their personal life for the sake of money. Answer: they wake up, go to work, come home exhausted, and repeat the cycle, thinking that effort alone is the ticket to financial freedom. But here's the reality. Answer: real wealth is not a reward for sweat and fatigue, it is a reward for mindset. The top 1% understand that the way you think about money, opportunities, answer, and time determines your results far more than how much you labor. They focus on strategy, systems, and leverage rather than the physical act of working harder. Answer: while most people chase hours, the elite chase ideas, assets, and ownership that continue to generate value long after they stop working. Answer: the first shift in thinking is understanding the difference between time based income and asset based income. Most people earn a salary, sir, and their wealth is capped by the number of hours they can work. The top 1% reject this limitation, sir. They look for ways to make their money work for them instead of working for money. This means investing in businesses, intellectual property, stocks, real estate, or scalable skills that compound over time. Every decision they make is filtered through a long term lens. Answer: will this continue to pay me when I'm not actively involved? By thinking in this way, they move from being employees of money to owners of wealth. Answer: this shift alone separates the financially average from the truly extraordinary. Another crucial aspect is thinking in systems rather than tasks. Answer: while most people focus on completing daily chores and short term goals, the elite design systems that keep producing results on autopilot. They understand that consistent, answer, well built systems outperform bursts of random effort. Whether it's creating a business structure, automating investments, or building a brand, these systems allow their wealth to grow without constant supervision. Answer: this mindset turns finite energy into infinite potential because you are no longer bound by the limits of your own time or attention. Answer: equally important is adopting a problem solving mindset. The top 1% see obstacles not as roadblocks, but as opportunities for growth and innovation. Answer: they analyze challenges strategically, looking for patterns and leveraging resources to overcome them. Answer: this proactive way of thinking turns risks into rewards and ensures they are always ahead of the curve. Most people wait for opportunities to come knocking. Answer: but the elite create their own opportunities by thinking differently, connecting dots others miss, and positioning themselves where growth is inevitable. Finally, answer: the biggest lesson from this approach is that execution is just as important as thought. Thinking like the top 1% doesn't mean daydreaming or over planning, sir. It means combining clarity of vision with decisive action. Ideas alone are worthless without implementation. By focusing on thinking strategically, building systems, answer, leveraging assets, and at solving problems creatively, you create a feedback loop where wealth grows naturally and exponentially. In essence, answer, the journey to real wealth begins not at the office or factory, but in the way you train your mind to see, act, and build differently than everyone else. Answer: most people spend their lives chasing a paycheck, believing that working longer hours or negotiating small raises will eventually make them wealthy. Answer: they tie their financial future to someone else's decisions, their salary, and their company's success. The truth is, income without ownership is temporary. Answer: real wealth is created by owning assets that generate value independently of your time or effort. The top 1% understand this fundamental difference. They don't just aim to earn, they aim to own, to control systems and resources that produce ongoing income and long term growth. Answer: the first principle of ownership is that it shifts power from dependency to independence. When you rely solely on a salary, you are at the mercy of your employer. Answer: market conditions and economic fluctuations. A layoff, business closure, or market shift can erase years of effort overnight. Ownership, on the other hand, Time the answer gives you control. Owning a business, intellectual property, real estate, or equity in growing ventures allows you to dictate outcomes and capture the value you create. Answer: the top 1% make money from what they own, not from the time they spend working. Sir, this shift in focus from income to assets is what separates temporary earners from permanent wealth builders. Another key aspect is the concept of leverage. Ownership multiplies your potential in ways that income never can. While a salary has a ceiling defined by hours worked or job grade, answer: owning an asset means your wealth can grow exponentially. A single investment in a scalable business or property can produce returns for years, even decades. Answer: without additional effort. Similarly, owning intellectual property or a brand can create streams of passive income that continue to expand long after initial creation. Answer: the top 1% understand that leverage comes from ownership. They don't trade hours for dollars. They trade ideas, systems, and equity for exponential returns. Ownership also transforms mindset. When you have a stake in something, your decisions, risks, and focus align with growth, innovation, and long-term vision. You start thinking like a creator, not a consumer. Every challenge becomes an opportunity to increase value because you are directly invested in the outcome. So the top 1% are constantly seeking ways to increase the worth of what they own, whether through strategic expansion, improving operations, or creating intellectual property. Answer: they treat ownership as both a responsibility and a tool, understanding that active management multiplies returns while passive observation diminishes opportunity. So ultimately, the lesson is clear: chasing income alone will never build lasting wealth. Real financial power comes from owning what matters, controlling what generates value, and leveraging assets to work for you over time. The top 1% do not measure success by their hourly earnings, they measure it by the growth, influence, answer, and freedom their assets provide. If you want to escape the cycle of dependence and truly create wealth that endures, you must shift your focus from earning money to owning systems, businesses, and assets that produce value indefinitely. The choice is simple. Time the answer: be a worker for money or an owner of wealth. Most people wait for the perfect moment before making a decision. They overanalyze, hesitate, and wait for absolute certainty. Answer: believing that a calculated approach guarantees success. The problem is life and markets move faster than they're planning. The top 1%, that speed, not perfection, answer, is what creates advantage. Fast decision making allows them to seize opportunities before others even recognize them, to capitalize on market inefficiencies, answer, and to learn from action rather than delay. Wealth grows for those who act decisively, not for those who wait endlessly. Speed is not recklessness, it is informed action. Answer: the top 1% gather enough information to make smart decisions, but they do not drown in analysis. They understand that uncertainty is inevitable. Answer: and waiting for complete certainty often results in missed opportunities. Each day delayed is a lost chance to grow, invest, or position oneself strategically. Answer: while most people remain paralyzed by indecision, the elite use momentum as their secret weapon. They move quickly, adapt constantly, and iterate their way to success. This mindset turns agility into a form of wealth creation that few others can match. Another important aspect of speed is learning through action. Waiting to gain perfect knowledge before taking the first step is a trap. The top 1% understand that experience is the fastest teacher. Every decision, success, answer, or failure provides feedback that refines their judgment, sharpens their instincts, and accelerates their growth. Speed compounds learning. Answer: by acting faster than the competition, they accumulate knowledge and insights at a rate that others cannot match, giving them a lasting advantage in both business and life. Answer: while the average person spends years preparing for opportunities, the elite spend years executing and learning simultaneously. Speed also multiplies opportunity. In a world where timing is often more important than talent or resources, acting quickly can create enormous leverage. Investments, partnerships, and business ventures often depend on who moves first and who positions themselves strategically. The top 1% recognize that hesitation is costly, sir. Every delay gives someone else the chance to claim what could have been theirs fast. Decisive action allows them to secure deals, seize market gaps, the answer, and dominate niches before the broader market even realizes the potential. Sir, the result is compounding growth fueled by the momentum of action rather than the illusion of preparation. Ultimately, the lesson is simple: fortune favors the swift. Answer, not the cautious. Thinking, planning, and strategy are essential, but without speed, they are wasted potential. The top 1% combine clarity of vision with rapid execution. Answer, leveraging time as their ally rather than their enemy. They understand that every moment is an opportunity to move ahead, to gain influence, and to create wealth. Sir, if you want to think like the top 1%, you must stop overanalyzing, start making informed decisions, and embrace action as the engine of growth in the race to real wealth. Answer, speed is the ultimate advantage, and those who hesitate will always lag behind. Most people make financial decisions based on emotion rather than logic. Fear, greed, answer, and impatience drive their choices, panic selling when markets drop, chasing trends when prices rise, or overspending to feel successful. Sir, this emotional roller coaster keeps them trapped in cycles of stress and stagnation. The top 1% understand that money is a tool, not a source of identity or validation. Sir, they detach emotion from financial decisions, allowing clarity, discipline, and strategy to guide their path. This mindset creates power, control, answer, and long term wealth that emotion driven thinking can never achieve. The first principle of this mindset is calm in chaos. Answer, while others panic during market downturns or economic uncertainty, the elite remain composed. They see volatility as opportunity rather than threat. The answer, where most people see loss, they see discounted assets, potential bargains, or openings to invest strategically. Answer, emotional control enables them to act decisively when others hesitate, securing advantages that compound into significant wealth over time. By mastering their reactions, answer, they ensure that short-term turbulence does not derail their long-term vision. Another key component is rational evaluation. The top 1% analyze opportunities based on data, the trends and probabilities rather than feelings or hype. They make decisions using a clear framework: risk versus reward, scalability, and sustainability. Answer, this logic first approach ensures that every investment, purchase, or business decision serves a deliberate purpose. Emotional impulses rarely produce sustainable results. Answer, but rational thinking consistently builds lasting wealth. By evaluating decisions objectively, the elite eliminate bias, avoid costly mistakes, and remain focused on what truly moves the needle. Emotion also affects mindset in how people view money itself, sir. Most individuals tie their self-worth or happiness to financial success, making money a source of anxiety or validation. The wealthy treat money as a resource, answer, a tool to create freedom, opportunity, and leverage. Detaching ego from finance allows them to make bold moves that others would avoid due to fear of judgment or failure. The answer, they can take calculated risks, negotiate from strength, and scale opportunities without the weight of emotional attachment clouding their judgment. Answer, this separation between money and self is a defining characteristic of the top 1% mindset. Finally, the lesson is simple. If you want to build real wealth, sir, you must master your emotions. Financial freedom is not about luck, timing, or working harder. It's about thinking clearly under pressure, making rational decisions, and acting with discipline. By controlling fear, avoiding impulsive decisions, and treating money as a tool rather than an identity, answer, you gain an unfair advantage over the majority who are enslaved by emotion. Wealth is a reward for those who combine strategic thinking with emotional mastery. On the answer, the moment you separate feelings from decisions, you step into the mindset of the top 1% and create a foundation for financial power that lasts a lifetime, sir. Most people live in the short term, focused on instant gratification, quick wins, and immediate recognition. They spend money to impress others, chase fleeting trends, answer, and prioritize comfort over growth. The top 1%, however, play a completely different game. They think in years, decades, and sometimes lifetimes. Their vision extends far beyond the next paycheck or quarterly results. This long term perspective allows them to make strategic decisions that build unstoppable wealth. Answer. While others remain trapped in cycles of temporary satisfaction and delayed progress. The first principle of long term vision is patience. Answer. Wealth is rarely created overnight, while the majority seeks rapid success and quick returns. Answer. The elite understand that compounding results over time is the real engine of financial freedom. They are willing to sacrifice short term pleasure for long term gain. Answer. Investments, businesses, and skill building take time to mature, and only those who remain disciplined and patient see the full rewards. Answer. This ability to delay gratification and stay committed to a bigger picture separates the wealthy from the crowd. Another key aspect is foresight, sir. The top 1% constantly anticipate trends, challenges, and opportunities before they arrive. They position themselves strategically, investing in industries, skills, sir, and assets that may not pay off immediately but will dominate the future. While others react to changes, they proactively shape their path, sir. This foresight allows them to leverage early advantages, minimize risk, and seize opportunities that others overlook. Long term thinking is not passive, it is deliberate. Answer. Calculated and relentless in pursuit of lasting results. Long term vision also changes how the elite approach failure. Answer. Most people fear setbacks because they disrupt immediate goals. The top 1%, however, view failures as small steps in a much larger journey. Answer. Every mistake is an opportunity to learn, adapt, and improve for the future. By keeping their eyes on the horizon, they avoid being discouraged by temporary losses. Answer. Maintaining focus on compounding growth and enduring impact. This mindset transforms obstacles into stepping stones and ensures resilience in the face of challenges. Answer. Ultimately, the lesson is clear. Real wealth is a product of foresight, patience, and unwavering commitment to long term goals. Answer. Short term thinking keeps people trapped in cycles of income and consumption, while long term vision builds assets, influence, and freedom that compound over decades. Answer. The top 1% don't just chase money, they create systems, businesses, and investments designed to grow relentlessly. If you want to achieve unstoppable wealth, answer, you must think beyond today, act strategically for the future, and commit to a vision that outlasts trends, challenges, and temporary setbacks. By doing so, sir, you step into the mindset of the elite and lay the foundation for true financial freedom.